I am heard. Anyways, good morning. I'm still just starting my coffee and trying to wake up. Good morning, KJ. How are you? I am safe, and I'm hoping everyone else is safe also. I do have one friend that is positive for COVID. She's doing really well. She is a couple years younger than me, and she's doing good. She was at one of the high risk with her health, but she's doing great. But anyways, I wanted to have coffee with you guys again. And a few people asked me if I would have coffee during this because they're kind of stressed out and they needed some positivity in their morning, which I try to share a lot. But really, a lot of what I share is hunting and inspiration and getting outside. And I have people that tell me, they're like, well, I can't get outside because the areas are closed in our neighborhoods and stuff like that. And with the areas being closed, it's something that, let me try this earpiece. With areas being closed, you don't have to just go to state parks. You don't just have to go to those places. And if you live in metro areas, you can plant flowers on your deck, in your backyard, in pots, stuff like that. Just get outside. I remember my grandma used to have wicker chairs on her front porch, and she loved just sitting out there. And so that's ways to get outside. Like, you don't have to just go hunting and hiking and stuff like that, although I have been out scouting and checking things out. One thing I wanted to talk about really fast is hunting in Colorado and New Mexico. There have been April Fool's jokes going on, and it started before April Fool's Day, but there were people on social media saying that hunting and the outdoors was basically closed down in New Mexico and Colorado, and that's not true. If you look on Colorado Parks and Wildlife site and the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish website, they definitely are open. Turkey season is still open, and so those are all good to go. You guys can still get out to do that. Something that I really wanted to remind everybody of is the Colorado Big Game Application Draw deadline. That deadline, excuse me, I'm still waking up. The deadline is Tuesday night, so you need to get your applications in. If you have questions, like, direct message me and maybe I'll schedule a call with you or something to help you walk through that. But that deadline is Tuesday the 7th, so don't miss that. I hope that all of you guys are doing good this morning. My coffee is still hot, so that is good. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Joe. You're an early bird too. KJ, how do you think this will affect wildlife? Do you think hunting seasons in a year will be better? I really don't think that and this is my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to affect wildlife in our area too much. There already are restrictions in Colorado as far as shed hunting. So you can't go out and shed hunt, and I'll have to find the link to the exact dates. I believe it's January 31st to May 1st or April 30th or something like that. But so right now you can't go shed hunting anyways. You can go scouting, but if you're caught with a shed, you will get fined. So, and that's to relieve pressure on the animals when they're just coming out of winter and they're still hungry and they're in high stress situations. They're also calving right now. The deer and the elk are calving. So, or they should be. I personally haven't seen any yet, but I do have friends who have seen fawns. So that shed hunting restriction is to relieve pressure on the animals. We do have a severe decline in elk populations in southern Colorado. And so this year, and that's something else as far as I mentioned, the big game draw. If you're an archery hunter, you still should apply for the draw if you're hunting in our area, because they have limited archery elk hunting. So you need to apply for your archery elk tag this year. So remember to do that. But yeah, the restrictions right now that you can still go onto the forest and stuff like that, but it's not shed hunting season yet. So don't get caught with a shed or you'll get fined. They also assess points to you as far as your hunting points. And that's kind of like points on your driver's license. Like you can lose your hunting rights if you have too many points. So there's that. What else? What other questions do we have? Good morning, Justin. Turkey hunting. I said I've been out scouting. I have seen turkeys. They are looking good. The flocks that I've seen, they're in their regular places. Last year was a tough year, and the turkeys, we had so much snow, the turkeys weren't in the normal spots, so we had to improvise. Thoughts on Nebraska shutdown to non-resident tags? That is a tough one. So traveling and social distancing, some people are taking it pretty lightly, and I think it's state by state. We're trying to, through SCI, there's a link if you go to the website, or I can share it later. I'll share it on my social media, but you can contact legislators to encourage them to keep hunting open. One thing is, I don't know how to explain to people what social distancing is and how to keep things separated and how to keep clean. With the Colorado cattlemen's, I'm obviously not totally awake yet, but with that, we had a meeting yesterday. They're having weekly meetings because this is a high stress time for cattlemen as well. And in yesterday's meeting, they talked about a trucker who agriculture is deemed essential. We obviously have to have food. We need to be transporting cattle so that we can have a continuous food supply, and that's still going. But there was a trucker who traveled from southeast Colorado through Kansas to Missouri, and he had the virus, and he did spread that a little bit. So that's where states like Nebraska shut down, the non-resident. They want people to stay in place so that we're not transmitting. And one thing, like with cattlemen's, and you don't want to have like food supplies being shut down. And then you don't also, in small communities, which is where we usually hunt. I mean, when I hunt in Nebraska, it's a very small town. In those communities, the doctors are, there's just a couple doctors. And so if the doctor ends up with the virus, or the nurses, and they have to shut down their medical offices, those communities are out of healthcare. And so a lot of the supplies, a lot of the resources have gone to metro areas. And with that going to metro areas, it's a scare for smaller communities because then they don't have the resources. So that's kind of my thoughts on Nebraska shutting down. Good morning, Tammy. I hope you're doing good. I was just talking a little bit about turkey hunting and social distancing for those of you who maybe are just joining. And KJ had asked about Nebraska shutting down their hunting to non-residents. Colorado is still open. New Mexico is still open. But it's something, I'll share the link later to SCI, where we have a link you can contact your legislators and ask them to keep hunting open. And so that's something that I'll share in a little while. But right now, hunting is open in Colorado. Turkey hunting season in Colorado starts next weekend, so April 11th. And turkey hunting in Colorado is April 11th through May 31st. New Mexico starts April 15th. So they go April 15th through May 10th. So far, they're still open, and there are over-the-counter areas where you can, if you were planning to go to Nebraska, come to Colorado, go to New Mexico. But again, that social distancing is really, really important, and you don't want to be spreading this, especially to small communities. Good morning, Jeff. As Tammy said, we're holding up. She lives in a small community. In small communities, you want to make sure that social distancing, we don't want to put too much strain on the medical facilities in those areas. So that's really important that you take it seriously. As I said, I have a friend that has it. She's in Denver. She's not down here, but she's in Denver, and she's doing all right. But she's a couple years younger than me, and she's doing okay. So remember that. It is definitely a great thing to do in the springtime, and go chase turkeys and get outside. and have fun. Tammy says her birthday is coming up. Happy birthday soon. That's pretty exciting. I was going to have an Easter party on the day after Tammy's birthday, but we've canceled our Easter party just because here personally, we usually have, I don't know, 60 to 80 people, and we don't want to be contributing, as I said, to that cross-contamination of people spreading stuff if they had it. Down here where we live, I don't know of anyone who has it, but it's been, I don't know, maybe just over a week since we did have the first positive case. And so right now, I looked up the statistics because last week people asked about Colorado and stuff. And Colorado, we have 3,728 cases of COVID. There are 97 deaths. And during that Colorado Cattlemen's meeting that we had yesterday, they were talking about one day, 18 people died in one day. And that is just crazy. That's pretty wild. But in New Mexico, it's harder to find statistics for New Mexico, but I did find an update for today, 403 positive cases and 7 deaths. So New Mexico is doing pretty good right now. In Archuleta County, that's still only 1 positive that it's showing on the internet. La Plata County has 24. So both of those were, they came about like last week, and they haven't increased too much. So that's really good. In New Mexico, San Juan County has 27 positive cases. Rio Arriba is showing 3 positive cases. And so, excuse me, they're really, those have held steady because I actually, when I scheduled this live a few days ago, I had looked and our counties are holding steady. So we're doing really good. I know that, I know a lot of my friends are doing really good. So everyone is trying to stay safe, and I appreciate that a lot. Do you guys have any other questions that you can think of? I'm happy that you're joining me. I hope that you guys are keeping a positive attitude and keeping your chins up. Hopefully you only have one chin. I did ask yesterday for people to ask me questions if there was anything they wanted me to talk about, and the COVID update, people direct message me to ask about that every now and then. I'm doing good. My family's doing good. We do miss my mom. We haven't seen her in a while, but she's staying in place and she's doing well. The deer hunting caliber. So transition from turkey hunting. Actually, they did ask about turkey hunting caliber too. So if you want to tell me in the comments what caliber you use when you're turkey hunting. Good morning, Kevin. Kevin, I've given an update on hunting in Colorado and New Mexico. We're talking about turkey hunting primarily. And I did have somebody ask what gauge shotgun I hunt with when I'm hunting turkeys, and I personally use a 12 gauge shotgun. I have a Benelli Super Black Eagle 2, and I also have a Benelli Vinci. And actually the Benelli Vinci I got for Christmas a couple years ago, and I really like that a lot. I like the oversized trigger guards, the whole thing. I really like it. And one thing I was sighting in the other day, and I also like the sight alignment on that. And so I'll share a review on my YouTube of that Vinci when I finish editing it, and I'll share a link on Facebook when I do that review. But I do use a 12 gauge. People like down talk 20 gauge. I've guided a lot of people who hunt with 20 gauges that have killed their birds no problem. I just have always used a 12 gauge. It's my personal preference. I also use a long barrel. I don't have the shorter barrel, and I am not awake enough to tell you how many inches it is. But I was on a hunt, I don't know if KJ's still on, but in Nebraska with the Super Black Eagle 2, and I call it Big Black because it is so long. And the turkey hunters from back east, they were laughing at Big Black, but Big Black, they ended up having to borrow Big Black to go kill their turkeys. So that big shotgun shoots really well. The deer hunting caliber, that I've actually written articles, and on KJ was on with Gun Talk. I've shared an article there about calibers for women, and that is a personal preference. You do need to check your state's laws and see what caliber you're allowed to hunt with, what the smaller calibers are. My personal favorite rifle is a Winchester 270. And that Winchester 270, it's my favorite because it's one my dad bought for me when I first started hunting. And so something that I've learned is when you're hunting, if it's a shotgun or a rifle that you're confident in, you'll do a lot better. And that one's one of my favorites. The 270, I have killed many elk with single shots on that. I'll share a review with this as well. I have a lot of reviews I'm working on. If you guys know of somebody who can help me edit videos that doesn't cost a ton of money because I'm not rich, I'd appreciate that, because I have a lot of videos that I'm working on editing, and it's calving season. We're working on our fields, doing all that. But one of my new favorite rifles, I got a Christensen 28 Nosler, and that rifle is awesome. So I can't wait to share the video review on that, because I'm really liking that one too. So I don't know. Tammy says she uses 7mm. 7mm is a great round, and she got that one handed down too. I think that's something that we see a lot, is families passing on guns, and then they become your favorite because there's not just there's a little sentimental value, but you also have your confidence in those. So it's really cool. We started Leah on a 7mm .8, and so there is that. Hey, talking about starting kids and hunting. So I said that hunting is open in Colorado. Good morning, Elizabeth. I was just talking about shotguns, but not about bird hunting. Well, turkey hunting. So anyway, turkey hunting and hunting is still open in Colorado, but hunter ed classes were canceled. So we got one class through, but we weren't able to do range days to get them complete. You have to have your hunter ed before you can submit your big game application on next Tuesday. So, and this is Colorado. For Colorado, if you don't have your hunter ed, you can't apply for your big game tags, but you can. And I don't usually talk a lot about apprentice tags because I want people to go through hunter ed. I want them to learn, and I want them to be safe. But this year's an exception with this COVID-19 stuff, and so you can get an apprentice tag. Good morning, Sly. I have something in the mail for you or for your kids. But so if you don't have your hunter ed yet, you can apply for an apprentice tag. It's a mentor thing. You have to have a mentor to go with while you're hunting. And so get online and get the information. Call the Colorado Parks and Wildlife 800 number. They're always so helpful, and you can get that apprentice tag. You can also do that for turkey hunting. So if you have kids that are old enough and responsible enough, and you're able to mentor them, or they can go with a mentor, then you can do that apprentice license and take them turkey hunting this year. But please, you have 12 months, and you have to get hunter ed. So I hope that you will do that. I'll be trying to schedule a hunter ed this summer if there's people who want that. Jeff Hoffman says he uses a 243 and his girlfriend uses a 44 mag. Indiana. In Indiana, I'm guessing you're hunting whitetail, so a 243 is definitely good for that. We actually had 243. Good morning, Deborah. I hope you and all the four-leggers are doing well. My dogs, I already fed them and did the morning dance with them, and so they're happy and have full bellies and are snoozing right now. But so that's a way to get out and get hunting this year if you don't have hunter ed yet, is to do that apprentice tag and contact Colorado Parks and Wildlife for that. What other things? Good. Does anybody have other questions about hunting or hunting in Colorado or New Mexico? As I said, it's still open too. Their season for turkey is April 15th is when it begins. It's a short season, but they do have over-the-counter tags. Somebody the other day asked me about Gould's turkey, And Colorado, we don't have goulds, but New Mexico does have areas where they have goulds. I am not super versed on those areas, but I think those are areas where you have to apply. So check that out online. Good morning, Bobby. I hope you're doing well. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you guys are all faring through this and COVID-19 business and the social distancing and staying safe. Have a good day at work, Elizabeth. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. One thing before they canceled our hunter ed, it was, so we've actually taken people out prairie dog shooting and stuff like that during this, but use hand sanitizer wipes and stuff like that. Don't share guns or, you know, so that you're not passing stuff back and forth. So practice that social distancing. As I said, and especially in small communities, that really can hurt if they start getting the virus. So try to stay safe. I did have somebody ask my thoughts on college football, and that was a question that was posed yesterday. College football. I don't really watch football at all. It's hunting season and I'm usually not around to watch it. And before my dad passed, we watched a lot of football period whenever I was at his house. And so that was fun to go do with him. And I guess since he's gone, I really don't watch too much football. But I imagine by August or whenever they start training, I don't really know that. You guys would have to tell me. I would imagine we should be through this by then. Joe asked, can I get a replacement hunter ed card? Yep, you sure can. If you have your CID number, you can go into Walmart and they should be able to print one. I think the price is $5 to get that though, Joe, to get a replacement. And then once you get your replacement card and once the Parks and Wildlife offices are open again, go into Durango and get your card verified or wherever the nearest office is. I'm guessing you're still in the area. So, but yeah, you can get that replacement card. If you don't know your CID number, you can go online and look it up. So yeah, you can get that. And good morning, Jason. If you have the link where people can contact their legislators, if you want to put that in the comments. I mentioned that a couple times earlier. We've been talking about hunting and stuff like that. We talked about how Nebraska has been shut down to out of state. But if you have that link, put it in the comments. I'm on my phone because I don't know why for the Facebook Lives, the internet, it doesn't work. So I don't know how to look that up while I'm on my phone. And I'm laughing because it looks like my coffee cup is crooked on here, but it really isn't. Although this round cup, it's kind of tricky to hold. So sometimes it is crooked. And if I'm not awake, I'll pour my coffee on myself. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to get going. I've got to go feed. We've got to go do some harrowing. As I said, we're working in the fields, practicing social distancing, still scouting and ready for turkey season. Colorado starts next weekend. Don't forget, Tuesday is the deadline to get your big game applications in. If you have questions, direct message me. I can try to help answer them, or I can point you in the right direction. I hope that you guys keep a positive attitude, and I hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one. Have a happy Friday. Bye, guys.